As adding and subtracting polynomials, day 3. Today we're going to focus on subtracting polynomials. So here you see the subtraction sign. That subtraction sign applies to the entire polynomial. So just like when you have 3 minus 7, and sometimes people like to add the opposite, that's what we're going to do, except for the entire polynomial. So I'm going to change the subtraction sign to an addition sign. And then we're going to take the opposite of everything in the parentheses, the entire polynomial. From there, it's the same as yesterday. We're looking for like terms, starting with the highest exponent. 8m squared minus 3m squared is 5m squared. Negative 7m plus negative 7m is negative 14m plus 6. Next. Here's another subtraction sign. So we're going to add the opposite. Make sure we take the opposite of everything in the polynomial to the right. Excuse me. Now we're looking for like terms. A to the third, a to the third. There's 14 of those. We do not change the exponents. We're not multiplying. Exponents can only change if we are multiplying. 5a minus 3a is a positive 2a. Subtraction sign, add the opposite. Take the opposite of everything inside the entire polynomial that is being subtracted. Like terms, you got them. Negative 5p squared. Like terms, we got more. Plus 4. I'm a poet and I don't even know it. What's an easy way to double your money? Hold it in front of a mirror. Add the opposite. Find those like terms. Start with the highest exponent. 7 minus 8 is negative x to the third power, or negative 1x to the third power. These x squareds combine together to give us negative 10x squared. Subtraction sign. Add the opposite for everything inside the polynomial that's being subtracted. B squared. That's negative 1b squared plus 1. All right, got a little bit bigger polynomials. Process is the same. Opposite. Taking the opposite of all terms in the second polynomial, because the second polynomial had a subtraction sign. So we're going to start with that highest exponent. It's the only one of its kind, negative 2n to the fourth power. Next highest exponent. There are two terms that have the squared term. We end up with 2n squared. Exponents do not change. We are not multiplying. 5n plus 5n is 10n. Plus 2. Subtraction sign, add the opposite. Take the opposite of the entire polynomial that's being subtracted. Addition becomes subtraction. Subtraction becomes addition. Start with the highest exponent. Negative 1n to the third power. What is optional? 7n minus 4n is 3n. Negative 6 minus 4 is negative 10. Add the opposite. Since there's a subtraction sign, we're going to add the opposite. Looking for like terms. Start with the highest exponent, 2a to the 4th. Next highest exponent, negative 7a to the 3rd power. Next highest exponent, 2a squared plus 6. Subtraction sign, add the opposite. Find the highest exponent first. That's a positive 1 n to the 4th power. Minus 4n squared. Plus 3n. Plus 4. It's going to work the same way. This subtraction sign applies to the second polynomial, so those all get opposites. The second subtraction sign applies to the third polynomial, so those get opposites too. Highest exponent appears to be a 5. Start by adding those up. Negative 3. 4 minus 7 is negative 3, minus another 1, so we got negative 4p to the 5th. Third power's next. 7, 8, 16, p to the 3rd power. By remaining constants, add to negative 5. Add the opposite. Add the opposite. Highest exponent is a 5, 6x to the 5th. Next we have negative 7, x to the 4th. Minus 4x to the 5th. Plus 3x squared. Plus 2x. And we end with plus 2. 8 minus 6 is positive 2. Add the opposite because we have subtraction signs. Add the opposite due to subtraction signs. Highest exponent appears to be to the 5th power. We have 7, 8, minus 6, 2n to the 5th. Next highest exponent is a 3. Negative 7 and 3 gives us negative 4n to the 3rd power. Looks like negative 13n squared. And 7n brings up the caboose. Last one. Add the opposite. Add the opposite. Largest exponent. 5, 5, 5. Negative 14, negative 19, m to the 5th power. Next highest exponent is a 4. There's only just the 1. Then we have 2 squared terms that cancel out. 1 minus 1 is 0. And 2 minus 3 is negative 1.